Hi, I'm Soupy. It's been like 2 minutes. So I'm gonna talk about what it means to be goth, or what goth is. Even though I like half-assedly addressed it in the last video. There's a lot of misconceptions about it. And a lot of infighting about it. By God, is there a lot of infighting about it. But if you look it up, you'll find, your answer right in front of you. Google Goth, the first definition, which is the Germanic people that, invaded Rome in the, 3rd and 5th century. That's not us, unfortunately, although it would be really cool to invade Rome. Pretty epic. That would be an epic gamer moment. I hate myself. Anyway, and then the second bullet point of the two is music derived from punk, like a type of rock music that is derived from punk. And then if you expand that to see more definitions, there's a bullet that connects to that music one. That's a member of a subculture that's typically clad in black and whatever that listens to goth music. So if you were unaware, goth isn't just dressing in black, even though goths do that, obviously. There's a fashion associated, but it's much like any other subculture that's music-based. Like punk, it's about music. It is, unfortunately. It gets misused a lot. I think what happened was mainstream media clashed with the subculture because it was growing so big. And so the association just became, oh, it's the people that dress like that. You can dress like that, but it doesn't inherently make you goth. There's nothing wrong with that. A lot of people describe their fashion as goth when what they mean is just gothic, which is an obnoxious technicality, I know, but it is a very valid technicality that exists for a reason, which we can get into. But if you don't know what goth music is, which the other thing that happens is people will be like, oh my god, I love goth music. I love Evanescence. I love Marilyn Manson. And no shade to them. Maybe a little shade to Marilyn Manson, actually. He kind of... I just love Marilyn Manson. Don't at me, please. Do not at me. But they're not actually, the music that they make isn't actually goth. Unfortunately, once again, there's nothing wrong with liking that. Evanescence was one of my favorite bands, actually was my favorite band when I was 13 years old. Every Evanescence album up to The Open Door, I guess, because that was what was out. And then I bought the one that came after that in 2011, and I didn't like it that much. I'm really getting sidetracked. Anyway, point being, it's not goth music, it's just kind of edgy rock, maybe a little bit of a gothic. Examples of goth bands would be the quintessential one would be Bauhaus, because they historically have the first goth song, being Bela Lugosi's Dad, which, if you haven't heard, actually, I can't even judge you for that. I would hear it on my radio station sometimes, but I feel like that's actually kind of unusual. And it also would happen at 6 in the morning. It's a really long song. Wouldn't say it's one of their best, just a classic. Wouldn't even start there. Just historically the first. Good thing to know. Christian Death, Susie and the Banshees, The Cure, who I'm sure you all know. Skeletal Family, Specimen, Sex Gang Children, Alien Sex Fiend, Clan of Zymox. There's a million. I could actually go off forever, but I wanted to name some of the bigger starter ones so that you guys have, a good starting point. And I'm going to link a playlist. Now, I'm going to just link the same playlist for a few videos until I actually talk about music, in depth. And then when I do that, I'm going to link that same playlist again, but also some others, including my playlist entitled Spooky Goth Bench Music and Spooky Goth Bench Music 2 Electric Boogaloo. I feel corny as hell saying that out loud, and I regret ever being born. Anyway, so as it's stated in the definition, it is a subculture derived from punk. A lot of people sort of made the jump from that scene. You saw the transition with bands like Susie and the Banshees. Now, as I understand it, literally what happened and why the term goth came about is it evolved into there's technically several subgenres, you know, with cold wave and dark wave and death rock and da-da-da-da-da. We began with post-punk. There was a post-punk band, UK Decay, I might have it a little fucked up, that just started describing their music as gothic rock. And then so the fans of that started getting referred to as goths. And then that sort of spread throughout that whole genre because it was new, you know, and they needed a new word, and that fit, that clicked, right? So, I get a lot of my information from elder goths online and from my one Batcave kid friend that I have in real life. What does goth mean today? It means the same shit, but it's evolved a little bit. Because what's happened between, like, the inception, when goth came about as, like, a whole subculture, when that boom happened in the 80s, and now, is, first of all, a media clash that caused the people to be very confused about what the word actually means. But it also, like, evolved in a lot of ways. So there's a lot of break-off stuff, whereas you can argue that cybergoth isn't goth, but the EDM music is stemmed from industrial that stemmed from goth. And so there's, like, layers of separation and different words that people use. You can go on technicalities, but I need to say right now that the only thing that makes you goth is enjoying music, and you don't have to enjoy all of it. I'm gonna be straight up, completely honest. I used to not like Joy Division, and I used to hate Joy Division. I could not stand Joy Division. I've since changed my mind on that big time, but that's like quintessential shit. You might be crucified if you get out here and say that you hate Joy Division by certain people. Or you might get pats on the backs from gothier than thou people because they're like, yeah, that's a starter band. That's a basic bitch band. Anyway, mixed bag of people, really. But no, the only requirement is that you like music. You don't have to like all of it. You don't have to like only that. You just have to like goth music. You don't have to dress goth all the time, let alone trad goth. This is a lot. I used to dress trad goth every day, but I'm actually, I don't know what happened there. I'm actually involved in multiple subcultures. Lately, I've been more predominant in a lot of punk circles and, like, crust punk stuff, which is very unusual for me because I used to hate crust punk stuff aesthetically, not the music. I like a lot of the music, obviously, but here I am for some reason. I think it's because I was dating a crust punk. It's probably what did it. But you're allowed to do other things. I also cosplay. You don't have to be limited by that. The only requirement is that you like goth music. That's it. That's the only one. Don't lose your mind over it. It's the only thing you have to do to consider yourself goth. And if you do that too, you don't have to consider yourself goth. That's really, it's not, there isn't like a whole subset of rules, even though some elitists will yell at you and say that there is, and that you have to have your hair teased a mile high and do, you know, the eyebrow makeup and black, spiky, always. Must have fishnets, pointy boots. You will die if you don't. How dare you? How dare you not? But it's not actually like that. And of course, like, being said that there's a lot of different ways to dress goth, there's a lot of different ways you can go about building up your wardrobe. I am what the kids refer to as, a broke bitch. So most of my stuff is either gifted to me or from a thrift store or DIY. So I definitely will be showing you some of my thrift store finds, how to hunt out the good stuff, how to DIY stuff, and I mean, in addition to that, I'll just go into some of the fashion history, specifically about what I know about, which is trad goth and death rock stuff, of course. I think that's a good, like, oversight of what goth means. I think. I'm not sure. You see, I'm actually having a breakdown. I hope this is recording, because if not, I might have another breakdown for real this time. Not that I didn't have one for real recently, haha. I think that's it. Still don't have an official ending at all. Alright, I'm Soupy. See ya the next time I record a dumb shit like this.